Gwen's still available too. That is certainly an option if Trace wants to go the same route again. Or, I don't think it was too big of a headache for Nova Esports to deal with, but they could potentially respect pick it away. But as far as Gwen goes on, Long is not really...
last pick, Long.
Yeah, it will be the last pick here. Gurnekton will be the priority here for the side of Nova Esports. Zaya, a very good choice when it comes to the ADCs. Now they're only lacking just the one pick on the jungle as well. And they're really saving it for last year, GG.
I just love the adjustment here. It's only Nova Esports that last picks their jungler. Trace Esports as well, the one that responds accordingly to, just because of the massive respect against Nova Esports. We do see this Amumu being hovered so many times, even back in Season 1, but I don't think it's ever going to be picked up. Irelia gets its debut right now here. So it's going to be actually quite interesting to see what will be the result, because it's a very risky pick. Nova Esports locks in the Jax. Man, we're going all in here.
Absolutely. Well, this is what happens when you have 6 jungler plans here. You sort of run out of options, and this time Long gonna be on the Jax, which I think is not too bad of a choice. You have a fair amount of, or a lot of damage, a fair amount of wave clear potential, or camp clear potential, and a pretty good gank potential as well. It's just,
you know what? This is crazy, but the only non-jungle champion we've seen is the Morgana. 9 jungle champions banned away. You'll never see this in any other series than this. Battle of junglers. Weba and Long. Who will be the king here? Who will take the throne? Will Long remain on his throne? Weba be successful in challenging him.
Who will be the Tarzan? You see the movie George of the Jungle?
The George of the Jungle!
Who's gonna be the George of these two junglers?
Yeah.
Let's see. It's Nova versus Trace Esports, with Nova already on series point here, 1-0. In what some would say is an upset of sorts. Nova Esports are continuing on their dominance, unless Trace Esports can stop them right in their tracks here in game number 2 of today's best of 3. Let's get on to the Wild Rift.
Because it's going to be a very risky situation here for Weba, especially with this Irelia pick. Because it's so difficult to exit out with an Irelia. This is a full engaged champion.
Yeah.
And so many ways are there to interrupt the reset on his jump. Nova Esports has great counters as well. The counter strike, the hero's entrance, so many crowd controls to interrupt the Irelia is going to be key for them to win the fight. But very notorious on this Gragas can set things up for Trace Esports.
And I guess you can make the same argument for a Jax, but Jax is tankier, has got a counter strike, and has a much lower cooldown on that mobility skill, provided that Irelia doesn't get the reset. So in that regard, Long has a little bit more of a safety net and doesn't really have to go all in at every single fight that he takes, and can actually scale better than an Irelia. So that's one thing going for Long this time. One thing's for sure though, Nian is certainly happy to be back on that Vladimir. One thing that's very consistent here for the side of Nova Esports, and that's the one thing that we are sure of, is that they can play for the long game here. They have a lot of scaling on their side, so they can definitely do and extend the game for as long as they can. But the one drawback in their comp now is the Jax. I'm not sure if the wave clear, if the jungle clearing speed is going to be as proficient as the Irelia. But I think it won't. I think it's gonna be a little bit slower here.
It's more towards the scaling, I think, is the priority by both Trace Esports. Nova Esports, almost every single champion that they have picked up is for late game scaling, except for Battle. So that's going to be quite interesting. Irelia does having the power spike a little bit early than other champions, but does fall off a little bit towards the late game, depending on how it is utilized. So that's the flexibility that it really actually provides. Race Esports, Weiba, is going to be going ham, especially in the position in the bottom lane. Flash going to be used by Juju just to be able to escape. A bit of an overextension. He shouldn't be there, to be honest. He's walking too far forward.
Good for the side of Nova Esports there. But unfortunately, they can't necessarily look for a dive as of yet. For the side of Trace, they have a lot of tanky options in the roster. Top side.
Ultimatum, it's going to be used as well, and that's first blood by Trace Esports.
Couple of ults used up. That first damage actually caught me off quite a bit. Trace Esports on the board first this time at the 2.5 minute mark. Long is just around the bottom side of the map now, but I don't think he wants to extend through. This Stack is the only one here, but he is a Gragas after all. That is not the easiest of champions to dive, but they are putting a lot of damage down in. Rotates coming through from both Korn and Juju. And Nova, what time they backed off for now. There have been some pings going on, but Trace Esports, they pick up an early lead here in the early game. But their bottom side looking to find a lot of resistance so far.
At least Nova Esports were able to get a couple of plates in the bottom lane. They're looking to also extend the lead and pressure as well there. While Trace Esports looks the other way. Potentially more ganks towards Yitse, because if you are going to be successful in shutting down the next, then there's no power spike going to come through on this champion at all. This champion scales downward, and Nova Esports is fully aware of that as well. That's why they have been really investing so much on long, and this Jax later on is going to be one of their keys to victory.
Yeah, and I wouldn't necessarily expect Nova Esports to contest these first objectives, right? In the same right that they didn't that first game. They're going to be putting a little bit of a power farm sort of play style here for long, which would make a ton of sense as well, unless they could potentially find a pick before the Drake spawns up or the Herald spawns up, right? But either way, I don't think objectives are going to be the priority here, at least for the early game. And I think the rotations are going to reflect that. Perhaps they should just go and look for an opening pressure for some of these turrets, which is happening in the bottom side so far. But other than that, I think Nova Esports should pivot that attention to long either way. But because of that first blood being in the hands of their Irelia, actually long trailing behind Jimmy Gold right now.
Trinity Force Jax has been picked up as well. Nia might be in a lot of trouble back. It's gonna be used, but the Hero's Entrance dismembers anyone that actually overextends. And Nova Esports, after getting the jungler down, now has great chance to pick up double objectives. They start with RH, but they actually turn here to the top lane, forcing Korn to just disengage. Barrage shot could be connecting onto anybody, but still, massive control by Nova Esports. Great response by Trace Esports to just delay the stake on the Herald.
Yeah, I think they should contest this right now. Nova Esports, though, they're ganging up. I think they're going to continue on to commit to this. Remember, there's no smite for Trace.
There's no smite, but this time, Weiba's going to be here. This is a 5 time, 5 space delay here. Off the take, Lisa as well, tracking Long, Hex's ultimatum gonna be used as well. Long still able to counter strike this way, deny some of the damage being thrown at you by Trace Esports. They're getting zoned out, and a great steal coming in here from Weiba as well. And to think that he was taken down earlier and then come back and take the objective is just a massive outplay.
Yeah, Nova Esports, they kind of hesitated taking the Rift Herald, took a little bit too much time, and Weiba had enough liberty to resurrect. Now, Trace Esports are in a good position to actually contest this Drake. I mean, I said it earlier, right? The early objectives wasn't necessarily going to be a priority here for Nova, but because they took down Weiba, that's when they started the Rift Herald. Now, because they lost the Rift Herald, they might as well commit to this Drake, and that's exactly what they're doing. First Dragon here, and Weiba is around the area.
Going to be very crucial, very difficult, challenging, as they're being challenged right now by Trace Esports. Weiba still unsuccessful with a steal, but the backline can be breached here by Nova Esports. Here's the entrance gonna be used just to display some of the members here with Trace Esports. Weiba getting taken down for the second time was actually one of the keys to victory here by Nova Esports, at least in securing that dragon.
That was a lot of damage from Long there. Let's take a look at that one more time, just one leaf strike. And one auto attack deals so much, but he is able to smite down the dragon this time. Look at this. Immediately bonks down Weiba. And after that, Trace Esports just dispersed. They don't want to fight Nova.
Early power spikes for long, especially coming in, especially because of that Trinity Force. A big adaptation actually by this jungler of Nova Esports. Normally, right, we do see Divine Thunder and then Riftmaker being picked up, but this time as a jungler, you focus more on the reverse. Of course, this time around doesn't have that, so he has to walk away first.
Gold lead now gone from Trace as Nova. 2 kills, no response. Here we go, Weiba though, getting jumped.
Oh no, Weiba is gonna be in a lot of trouble this time around. Spicy dice to make sure he gets the kill, but the sustain is actually massive. A 1-for-1 trade at least here for Trace Esports, but Juju can be in a bad place right now. Able to at least be blocked by some of that golem. Gonna be safe unless long. Gonna be committing onto this. No, it doesn't. Just gonna be body blocking, just making sure his ally is able to walk away, go back into the base safely.
Oh, but I think off of that, because Trace Esports rotate away from this turret, Nova can look for the push. Corn is around here and gets the wave clear up and going. So Nova Esports unable to find turret there, but that's okay. At least they got a trade of kills, so they're still a little bit ahead in terms of gold. But I think at this point it's inconsequential. It's just a few hundred here in their favor. So a big team fight could change all of this.
I mean, Nova Esports is not really relying that much anymore here on Jitse, on the Renekton scaling. They know that the only thing they need is actually the stun. Now Featherstorm gonna be using it to try and walk away. Will Caller as well, just to be able to escape, including the flash. Weiba this time around is feeling so much pressure. Oh, the Vladimir might actually get the skill of it now. Heroes enter as well to just prevent anyone from following up here onto Neon. Nova Esports get a tower, get the kill, and just walk away safely without any casualty stack. Interfering some of the recalls, but not able to set things up.
Yeah, pretty good reaction time there from Yami. Knew the moment that Neon overstepped a little bit, really had to use the hero's entrance, and that's exactly what he did. Bailed out his teammate there, and keeping Nova ahead for now. And it's just, well, this Jax is just getting stronger and stronger.
That's the third time he interrupted someone. He's just still committing. Yo! Dude,
Yitse, come on. Come on, you can be seen there, Yitse.
No mana, okay. No mana. Fine. What just happened there, man?
Well, ever so slowly though, Korn is becoming a threat now as well. So, as far as threats go, Long is not the only one that's sort of becoming a big headache here on both sides. And we've yet to see the damage come through as well from Weiba on this Irelia. So gotta remember that this is still at its core a scaling composition from Trace Esports. They got 3 scaling champs essentially. Make that 4, why not? Camille sort of scales really well as well. And they have a lot of space creating champs here, right? So a lot of split pushing capability on top of a crap ton of wave clear. Means that Nova Esports, this is going to be a nightmare of a game to close if they don't have something like a Baron buff, or if they don't get a couple of kills. So Nova Esports have to look for as many engagements as they can and win them.
I mean, and same goes here for Trace Esports, right? And so far we have seen a big struggle coming in here from Weiba. 1-4-1 is the scoreline. The only good thing is that he is not really trailing that much behind in terms of gold. Only 500 gold lead here by the Jax of Long, but second dragon now about to spawn. Potentially soul point for Nova Esports.
Here we go. Ocean Dragon getting started.
Oh no, Hexical Domain gonna be used.
So far behind right now, but Yitse doesn't have anywhere to go, and that's one already down. Nova Esports down 1 man. And Nova, they have to back off from now, but look! Neon gets caught off! Uses the Sanguine Pool a little bit too late, but has the flash to stay alive for now. Okay, gets the heal up, but that is certainly the Ocean Dragon going in the way of Trace Esports as Nova back off.
Great dismembering here by Trace Esports. Great pressure as well, as Yitse was a little bit caught there. The backside trying to get into the bot side river. That paved the way for Trace Esports to at least equalize the number of dragon stacks.
Yeah. Go though. That's certainly going to help out Trace Esports in the late game scaling department. And of course, you help them survive a little bit longer in those same team fights. But Nova Esports got to be feeling the sting off of that. The positions just wasn't optimal for them, and they got caught off guard. Trace actually reset off of that, but Nova Esports are just starting to look at the Baron.
This is going to be one of the most important objectives right now, and we have seen Nova Esports come back heavily just because of Baron steals by Long. Trace Esports also fully aware of that as well. You can never discount Wei, but despite him being taken down so many times, they can still carry Trace Esports here.
Instead of being there for the vision, so the only one here I think they can jump on, and that is going to be the Justice Punch. Nice little flash over the wall there for Lee Sao, perfectly timed. Keeps him alive for now. 2-shot barrage. Long with a little bit of wave clear there, but there's 4 people from Trace here. They could get ganked up on
3v4,
and that is going to be a very risky take here for Nova Esports, but they do have the safety of the tower for now. As long as they clear up these waves, they should be good to go, and Neon is around the area as well, so they do have the liberty of that wave clear. Long is just in the red buff too. If they want to turn, they could definitely do so, but the Baron is gonna be a point of tension from now on. Whoever has vision here is going to be a great contestant, and then Trace Esports starting it off first. Long is nowhere to be found for now. It's out of 6,000 HP. Now that they've seen Long, Trace Esports is going to back out, and this is going to be the dance for a bit. The Baron buff. But whoever has more control of the map here is certainly going to have more success, and currently, that's Trace Esports.
Yeah, they're really tracking down Long. They know, they recognize, and they give the 100% respect towards Long, especially the escapability to get the seals going. They get a tower as well along the way, helping them at least regain some of the economy and have a bit of a lead on it as well. 1,200 gold lead. Nova Esports not really trailing that much behind. 3 items already by Long, as the Starax gauge has been picked up already. And again, this is going to be helping him so much on the sustain, but might need, you know, an enchantment here. Possibly, you know, Zonia's one. Or Gargoyle. I think it's going to be very, very useful for him.
And again, there's still so much more map control, curiously enough, for Trace Esports, because they keep pressuring that top side of the map and the middle side as well. That Nova have yet to re-establish that that Baron buff vision. So that is a big challenge right now for Nova Esports. Re-establish that river control, and for some reason they can't get past that river, which is a big challenge for now, because they have to try and find a little bit of vision at least towards this Baron buff, which they do have for now.
Nova Esports, again, focusing on the scaling. Even if the Renekton falls off, you're gonna be fine. The Jax, the Ezreal, the Vladimir's gonna be dealing tons of damage later on. Trace Esports knows about this as well. This is why they're pressuring for Baron to maybe choke them out. They're not falling for any traps here of Trace Esports. They're just patiently waiting for the next dragon. Elder Dragon's gonna be the most important one as well for them.
Oh yeah.
Especially that it helped them so much in comebacks many times already. They're being very patient for it, but as well for Korn, right? This is a Kassadin. Later on, it's gonna be dealing massive damage to everyone, especially if he is gonna be able to dodge some of the crowd controls of Nova Esports. That's the first step, I think, and the most crucial one at best.
Not just the Drake, I think Nova is also waiting for that third item for Neon to come through. I mean, as far as things go, they definitely lack the damage for now, and they can't necessarily rely on Long for the most part, because he has to get in the fight. It jumps the fight.
Weba, this timing on the dance right there, goes straight into the back line. Rami may actually be in a lot of trouble, still able to walk away. Long as well. Counter-strike, just able to stay alive. The turn coming in from Yitze is just absolutely glorious. Korn right now being chased away. The CC, the Justice Punch is jumping in off, but Judge is still able to land the free hit, flashing in, gets a kill. A double one here for the ADC of Trace Esports, a 2 for 2 at best. Nova Esports had him the first half, but Trace Esports able to answer back.
And this is what I'm talking about here. When it comes to these team fights, they can't necessarily rely on Long to deal the majority of the damage, because he has to jump in, he has to commit. But now Long has to contest this next dragon that's already spawned up. With 2 of their players down, what can Nova do?
The only thing they can do is fight, but also they have to be very patient here. Ultimates are on cooldown. Same goes for Trace Esports. But Juju is starting to be a massive threat here for Nova Esports.
Let's take a look at what happened there again. Nova started off pretty well in this fight, actually. Neon getting the jump, Long going in as well. But you can see that no one goes down for the longest time here for Trace. Instead, they turn it around, and then they had free reign. Look at Juju this entire time, basically untouched. And this funnel area here of the triple lane convergence means that Juju had so many options to go to that he was just dealing damage the whole time without anyone realistically becoming a threat to him.
Great delaying by Korn as well, just interfering 4 members of Nova Esports, forcing them to leave Yetse alone in the front line. It was taken down, that ended into a 2-for-2 trade. Now Trace Esports, after picking up now their second Dragon stack, is more buffed up now on a scaling composition. It's just going to be a massive problem now for Nova Esports.
Yeah. And the Baron headache is still going on here for Nova. Still can't control that river position, and they can't go for a fight. Not yet. Does Neon have that third item yet is what we're waiting for, but Long has been spotted out here.
Will not commit on the Counter-Strike engage. They now turn onto the Elder Dragon. This is going to be very, very crucial. Baron as well is available. Trace Esports wants to commit on this. Dominus already has been popped.
So
and this
early.
is going to be a second timer here for Nova Esports. Yeah, it's so early. They have to commit onto the fight this time around. Juju going to be in the front line. Great for the Predator. Cass going to be used here onto the back line. Great follows to it as well. Hexic ultimatum here onto London, trying to pin him down, force him to actually disengage. Great spaces as well to buy some time. These are still able to walk away. Yitze as well, just interfering onto Juju in a way, but now they force onto the disengage. The Jax is still gonna be denied. Trace Esports don't want to win the fight. Long is still alive though. 2 versus 1. Can he still go with the outplay?
Doesn't have smite.
Doesn't. He walks away.
Yeah, I think Long used the smite into that fight there. Guts vision, but it's a little bit too late. It's gonna get executed here for sure, and Long will go down. Nova Esports unable to win the fight, and they lose the Elder Drake because of it. But let's take a look at just what happened one more time. I think I distinctly remember Long jumping onto the back line there to get the 1v1 between the junglers, but Trace Esports, they jumped on the rest of the squad here, and without the damage dealer, the main damage dealer there, that's Long, Trace just walked away with the fight, and now on top of the Elder, they're gonna take this Baron as well.
Great layering of CC as well by Trace Esports, especially with the influence of Korn. We saw it already on its potential in one of the fights in the topside river. The pressure is real coming in from the Cassidy, especially with the damage and also the stasis plane that was done again in the bot side fight, including Lisa on the Camille. So many interruptions on the target selection of Nova Esports that paved the way for a double objective right now by Trace Esports.
Absolutely. It's just really rough for Neon to find impact in these fights. Damage is not finding its way into Trace Esports. Meanwhile, they have the liberty of it. This is one of the problems you face when you don't have that standard safe scaling ADC that Juju is at right now on the Xayah. It's just a struggle for Neon to find the same impact here, but they have no choice right now but to hold on to their base and hold the door. But thing is, Trace Esports, they have the Elder. They can just look for a dive.
They can, or also just be patient, buffed up the wave, and just let it bash through the towers here. The inhibitor towers of Nova Esports, they can just do that right now. Magus Edge gonna be used. Long as in a lot of trouble here. Edge to try and prevent the takedown, but the backline is gonna be breached. Vladimir's already down, and Weiba is just accessing the backline. Dragon to breath with the Elder Dragon. Trace Esports dominating this game, taking full control and taking us to game number 3.
Wow. What a performance coming through here for Trace Esports. They strike back after that shaky early game, and Long gets